Yo, what is up guys? It's the Goblin and welcome back to another Call of Duty Black Ops 4 video. In this video, we're going to be talking about the Swat Rft, which is a weapon that hasn't really been talked about too much, at least on my channel, since it was first released as a DLC weapon. But I think now that more people are of course unlocking this over time and getting used to this weapon does have a really good spot in this game. And I've seen people even asking the question of, are these DLC weapons overpowered statistically? And do you get some sort of extra incentive by having this weapon, or is it a low tier assault rifle, a mid tier, or are these really like some of the best guns in the game? I'm gonna go over all that in this video, talk about different attachment, different combos you could use on this gun, and also the class setup that I use in this gameplay and the class setup that I've been using on this weapon, which is a pretty standard one. If you guys could drop a like on this video, let's go for 1,500 likes. That would be absolutely amazing if we could hit that. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new and not already subscribed, and turn on that notification bell as well if you guys want to. I'd really much appreciate that. It takes a millisecond to drop that like, and I really do appreciate everyone doing it and supporting my videos on a day in and day out basis. So this gameplay is another Nuketown gameplay. I know I've been uploading a lot of Nuketown lately, and I'm gonna have gameplays on other maps, of course, coming up and everything like that. But just whenever there's a Nuketown playlist, I always seem to be able to capitalize and just get so many gameplays back to back to back, just based off the fact that, I mean, this is a map that I'm so familiar with from playing it throughout all the years. Plus, you put in the playstyle of playing for kill streaks, and kill streaks are amplified on this map, as well as you can get kill streaks faster because, of course, if you play it safer on this map, you're still playing sort of, playing medium aggressiveness is still pretty aggressive when the map is this small and you're in 6v6 or, different things like that. Anyway, let's talk about this weapon. We'll go over the class setup, we'll go over the stats and everything like that. So, first of all, is this weapon overpowered, and how does it rank up against other assault rifles? Now, this weapon, a comparison to other assault rifles, statistically, it's a middle-of-the-pack AR. It's nothing over the top based on the raw statistics. It's basically compared to, like, I would compare this weapon to the ICR and the Vapor. Those two, it's sort of like an ICR with a faster time to kill and with stock available. However, you do have more recoil on this weapon. It can be controlled, the recoil, and worse damage ranges than the ICR. So that's sort of the trade-off. As far as the time to kill this weapon, it's not the fastest. It is only faster than the ICR out of all of the assault rifles' maximum time to kill. However, it is a very consistent weapon, and that's why I call it like a faster time to kill, faster ICR with, of course, more recoil. However, the recoil on this weapon is fairly easy to control, and the way just recoil works in Call of Duty in 2019, and I mean 2018 too, in Black Ops 4, right? In this game, you can control recoil patterns. You can do this in previous CODs as well, but I think in this game, you can even do it better if you take your time, go into a private match, shoot up against a wall, learn the recoil patterns and understand that. So that's where this weapon sort of ranks overall. I'd say it's a middle of the pack towards the top of assault rifles, but it is very similar to the Vapor. If I could line it up to a comparison, it is like that Vapor, and it is better than the ICR in certain ways and worse than the ICR in certain ways as well. And the good thing is, though, that this weapon does have stock available, which isn't available on all the assault rifles. It's not available on the Rampart, it's not available on the ICR, so having stock available on this is really awesome. And for me personally, I'm someone that with an SMG I like stock sometimes I don't, but with an AR I'm always going to use stock, and if a weapon or a gun doesn't have stock, that definitely is something that hurts that weapon for me, in my opinion. So as far as stats, is this weapon statistically overpowered? No. However, if you can learn to use this weapon and if you're comfortable with this weapon, if you can control the recoil, make this thing a laser gun, you can really make this one of the top tier assault rifles in this game. And I wouldn't say this weapon is super duper overpowered. However, I think that if you use this weapon properly, design the right class setup, and are just comfortable with this weapon, it can be a consistent absolute killer. So let's talk about the class setup that I use with this weapon, as I know a lot of people are going to want to ask about that. The class setup, of course, is very simple that I use for this one. It's 3 attachments, well, 4 I guess if you count the reflex sight. And a lot of people always ask me, why do I use a red dot on certain guns? Like, why do you use the red dot here? Because this gun doesn't need one. And the facts are that whenever it comes down to it, I usually, a lot of the way that I design my class up, trying to maximize them, sometimes I will have 1 extra slot. And if I have that 1 extra slot, I don't usually like running secondaries. I know some people say throw on a launcher. However, I don't really expect the enemy to be dropping kill streaks on me anyway, unless hopefully I'm not doing that bad. And hopefully my teammates aren't as well, although that's kind of, you don't really have control over that. You can only control what you can't control. That's kind of a dumb I'm saying, but it does make sense if you think about it. So basically, I'm saying that's why I would run red dot. And so you don't need a red dot on this weapon, but I mean, feel free to use that extra slot to throw on a launcher or a pistol. However, I don't think those are things that you really need too much anyway. And that's why this setup is going to be a reflex sight. And then my 3 attachments are going to be stock, fast mags, as well as a quick draw. Stock, fast mags, and quick draw, all stuff to speed up this weapon, and things that, you know, the ICR is not going to have that stock available, and throwing in the fast mags and quick draw are fairly helpful on this weapon, and pretty much just standard attachments. Now, if you don't want to go with those attachments set up, let me figure out, tell you guys the rest of the class up as well. ComSec device, of course, because this is an assault rifle that you can play well with. I'd say this gun is best at like mid-range. Mid-range, this is where this gun is the best at. And playing mid-range is perfect because that's the playstyle I like to play to go for big streaks, and that works very well with the ComSec device. This gun can hold its own at long range, but it can also hold its own up close, and it does have one of the slower time to kills compared to a lot of the assault rifles. But if you're hitting shots, I mean, it doesn't matter if it's a slower time to kill if your accuracy is going to be better, and those 1 or 2 shots you would miss with another weapon, you're going to hit with this gun. Of course, then this gun would end up killing faster anyway. But ComSec device, and then my perks are going to be Tac Mask, Gung Ho, Dead Silence. Pretty self-explanatory. I really think out of those perks, the only thing you might want to switch up would be that first one, but Gung Ho, Dead Silence, I would stick with those 100%. I would stick with the ComSec device because I like to go for big kill streaks. However, I know different people like to play differently. But then as far as the attachments, reflex, stock, fast mags, and quick draw was what I was using in this game. However, are there other options that are available for attachments? And this is something that I'm starting to do more, is when I give a class setup, I talk about the class setup that I use, why I use it, but I also talk about some other options that are very, very good. You could use extended mags instead of fast mags. That one is obvious, a personal preference right there. Same with the sight on the weapon. You could use any other different sights. That just depends on the ranges you're going to be playing. But there's 2 attachments that can actually be pretty deadly with this weapon, depending on how you want to play it. One is long barrel, which will almost double your 5-shot kill range. It's like a 5 or 6-shot kill weapon, which is awesome. But at that point, if you wanted to use that, you could sort of just go with a ICR anyway. However, by throwing that on, you sort of get something that's awesome at range, but also has stock. So long barrel is something that I would look into if you're using this on a longer range map. And the other one is high caliber, because headshots can affect the time to kill with this weapon, and all you need to do is hit them in the head like with 1 bullet, and it will increase your time to kill if you do have high caliber on. So that's another option you could put on. I would maybe swap out quick draw for that if I was playing a little more slow. However, just the way that I like to play with this weapon, and like I said, it's a more of a mid-range slayer, and the playstyle is very similar to something that you would see with like a Vapor, I would say, because it's not going to be able to kill up close as fast as the KN with rapid fire or as fast as the Maddox, but it is very good in those ways. So those are some 2 other attachments that I would maybe recommend testing out. But that's the class up that I rock with as far as this weapon. And by the way, this gameplay is 100+ kills. I believe it's like 112 to 14 or something pretty good with this Swat Rft. So in conclusion, is this, you know, a pay-to-win weapon? Not really, because anyone can earn it. Of course, you could pay and get it in advance, or you could take your time and earn it. But I think by now, a lot of people have earned this weapon. But is this a solid weapon in this game? Yes, and I think that the way we've seen DLC weapons work in previous CODs is like the first couple drops are kind of underpowered or medium, and then they get more and more overpowered as the life cycle gets more and more, you know, deeper into the life cycle. So it's going to be interesting, because I do think that the Daemon 3XB and the Swat Rft are very, very strong weapons in this game. I wouldn't say they're the top weapons overall in the game, though, and it's interesting because the way we've seen it in previous CODs like AW and BO3 is once the life cycle started becoming like a year or 2 in, or even like a year to a year and a half in, the stuff they were dropping, or even like 9 months for like, I think AW it started a little bit earlier, because that game, of course, the life cycle wasn't as long as BO3 when they added the XMC and different things like that. But some of the DLC weapons were top tier weapons in this game, and I think we're going to see more stuff like that in Black Ops 4 as well. But my hope is that as long as these DLC weapons are fair and available for people that play the game and grind the game to earn, I don't really see the problem with that, and I'm hoping that they start uploading and providing more content into this game, which I probably want to make another video to talk about, because it's something that, like, everyone's been saying we want more content in this game, but I don't know why it's not coming or what the delay is. And it seems like this is like the new thing with Call of Duty, because we saw it with last year World War II. World War II was an awesome game once they did all of those updates and, you know, balancing and different things like that and adding new content, but that took like until summer until it was like ready to go. So I'm wondering why Call of Duty, it seems like they always get to a good point, but it takes a while to get those content updates out. And with Black Ops 4, a game that's very popular at this moment, has multiple game modes that are really really popular, and by game modes I mean like zombies, blackout, and multiplayer, of course. And basic, like I think that more content is the solution to keeping people really interested in this game. And if they're able to do that, more DLC weapons dropping on a more consistent basis, earning it, that's the way that this game could, of course, make a lot more money with the microtransactions, which is interesting because Call of Duty, you know, like a game like Fortnite or League of Legends, they make all their money off those microtransactions and cosmetics, but a game like COD sort of sells the game and does that. So it's more, you know, it's a different way of doing it. However, I think that if they really need to find a way to maximize the content that's going to be uploaded into this game, and then this game will do very well. It's been my stance for a while, and I hope that with DLC weapons, I want to see more of them more consistently. I want to see them, you know, be fair weapons in the game, strong weapons in the game though, but fair, and also stuff that's fair and everyone has a chance to earn. Anyway, I hope you guys did enjoy this gameplay. I think the final score was, yeah, 112 to 14 or 114 to 12, something like that. A pretty nice 100 plus here on Hardpoint. Like I said, you know, getting 100 pluses on Nuketown, you can do it, and it's all about cycling through those streaks. And even though I fail some streaks sometimes, I had the drone squad in this gameplay as well, which is really nice for like an SMG setup or a more rushing up close assault rifle class setup. Like I said, this isn't the best for up close, but it is more of like a mid-range setup. But that's the best class setup. Those are some cool attachments to try out with it. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section down below. Drop a like, subscribe, check out some of my other vids, and I'm out. Peace.